And in the new year 2022, new areas of concerns are emerging for world economy. Now, new Omicron wave has hit many nations, and geopolitical tensions between European Union, Russia and in UAE, they have all spooked investors. So what could be impact of all these developments? And to talk more than and other things, and we are today joined by Narayan Shroff, investments head of Barclays private client. Good morning to Mr. Shroff. First of all, what is the concern of corona third wave for global economy? Are there concerns at all?
Not really. In fact, while the velocity has been very high in terms of the spread, in India as well as, across various parts of the world. But we have seen that, of course, it is coming out to be a lot more milder than the earlier waves. And therefore, the economic restrictions have been far lower. And also the realization, perhaps, of the gains from such restrictions now seems less compared to the costs involved. So effectively, lower impact in terms of the economic impact of Omicron at this juncture.
So another development is that crude is inching towards $100 a barrel. It's already $90 a barrel. Is that a cause of concern as well?
Inflation dynamics are, of course, were expected. We had mentioned about that in our outlook. In the first half, we continue to expect that these pressures, the headline pressures on the inflation, would continue to happen. And crude is one of them. But unless the crude, moves to more around, averaging around 120 levels, we don't see it being of such a large concern from an overall perspective, because effectively it's coming off the last year's base. And so we believe that it should, like other pressures on inflation, should taper off in the second half of the year. And but in the next coming months, of course, this will provide, a lot of pressure on the global as well as on Indian inflationary numbers.
And budget is tomorrow of India. What are the expectations? Well, will there be big bang announcements? What are your overall expectations from the budget this time?
Yeah, so frankly speaking, we had the advanced GDP estimates coming. It was quite robust at about 17.4%. Of course, agriculture was a big upward surprise. Private investments continue to lag, but our assumptions or expectations are a bit higher. We are looking at about 19.6% odd in terms of nominal GDP, and then getting into next year, fiscal year, at about 13.6%. Now that gives a lot of headroom to the finance minister and the government to be able to spend more in the budget. And we believe that the finance minister should push the pedal. And we expect that the budget should be more investments and capex heavy. It is critical for in fact, center to spend more on capital expenditure, especially considering that the states are under pressure because of the cut in the GST compensation for that. But it should be growth oriented. That's the verdict.
Well, thanks, Mr. Shroff, for joining us this morning from Barclays, and thank you for getting us all these details. WION now available in your country. Download the app and get all the news on the move.